All right, let's jump into our next demonstration of section drawing. And we're going to look at the third CAD exercise in your module, and that is the drawing of the flanged support using aligned sections. Okay, so I have the front view here, or the top view, whatever you want to call it. And it's not complete yet, and I want to kind of take you through the method to complete this, and then I'm going to go ahead and make the front view, okay, which is going to be the section with the aligned features, okay. So in this, to finish this off, we have to put these slots in here. And so I thought it would be good to kind of show you the process for that. So I'm going to draw a line from the center out here, and I'm going to, I've turned on my polar tracking at 45 degrees. So I'm going to draw a line at 45 degrees, and I'm going to make it end at the outside circle, okay? So there we go. The width on these slots, it says the slot is a diameter 20 slot equally spaced on a diameter 90, okay? So what that means is the slot has a diameter 20 circle in it, or curve in it, I suppose is the more correct term, equally spaced on a diameter 90, okay? So that means that the bolt circle, what we call the bolt circle, is the diameter 90. So let me just show you what that means. It's easier to show you than to explain it. So I'm going to draw a circle with a center diameter from the center here, and I'm going to draw it at a diameter of 90. Okay, so there it is right there. That is where the diameter 20 end, rounded end of the slot is going to go. So now I'm going to draw a circle with a diameter again, with a diameter 20. Okay, there we go. Now, one word of caution. Make sure that you're drawing circles with diameter when it should be a diameter and radius when it should be a radius. I see a common mistake is to draw a circle with a diameter 20, but you're not paying attention and you're actually using the radius circle, or vice versa. In which case, you're either going to get a circle twice as big as it should be or half as big as it should be. So, and that's going to make your drawing look weird and wrong. So now we need to get the sides of this. Now, let me caution you here, because another common problem I see is for people to grab this end and to go kind of like this. Oh, let me draw this line at 45 degrees right there. Okay. And that kind of looks right, but it's not right. And the reason why it's not right is because it is not from the tangent, right? So this intersection is not where you project this line from, all right? Where you project the line from is from the tangent right here, okay? So let me show you how we can get that. If one way to do that, and I'll do it on the other side, is, well, actually I'll do it on this side, is to use the offset command. I'm going to offset, what's the diameter of this circle is 20, so I'm going to offset 10. So let's do an offset of 10, and then I'm going to offset the center out like this. Now, you might think that, oh, that looks pretty good, but when you go in here, you can see where the error is, okay? This is the correct line. And you see how it comes in tangent right there? This is the incorrect line. And that comes from the intersection here. So you want to be careful how you draw this. By the way, I will be able to notice that, see that on the drawing, okay, when you turn in your drawing. So so just be aware of that. Now I got to get in here and erase the bad one. Let's see, there's the bad one. And I'll just, let's offset again. All right, and now I can trim this out like this, and we can trim this back. Now here, again, I feel like I'm giving away all my tricks for grading here, but if we trim it back right here, where are we trimming it to? The curve, the bolt circle diameter. That's wrong. And let me show you. We trim this back, and then we look in there. Aha! That's not the tangent. The tangent is up here, so it needs to be trimmed back to the tangent. Okay. So all these little things, you gotta, you know, like I said, I feel like I'm giving away all the secrets here. So you want to be careful of that. And then we can trim this back like that. And then that's correct, right? And now we can get rid of that. And we can even get rid of that. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead. I know I'm going to need this as a center line. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that to a center circle, because that's the bold circle. So I have one slot done. And now I want to do 3 more, okay, for a total of 4. So I'm going to use the array command. We go to the array command, and we're going to use a polar array, okay? And then we're going to select the objects that we want to array. Array is just a copy in a pattern, okay? So I want to copy these 3 objects, the 2 lines and the arc here. And I'm done, so I'm going to hit enter. And then it says specify the center point of the array. Well, I want to rotate them all around this center. And then you see where it gives us that. Now, it's giving us kind of the default settings here. And if you look on the ribbon, it's changed to the array creation ribbon. And we go over to the panel where it says number of items. We want 4. This is total items, right? So we just type in 4 items right here. And then we can see that updates, right? But in fact, and we don't need to do anything with rows or levels. That's not applicable here. But we do want to make sure that associative is off, right? So right now associative is on, that's off, all right? We want associative off. And we want rotate items, and the direction doesn't really matter because we're doing a full circle, right? But rotate items, if we take off rotate items, that's what we get. And I think you can see that that's not correct. So we definitely want rotate items. And then we're done with that. So I'm going to close the array, and then there we go. And now we can finish this up by just trimming out the center sections there. Okay. Now I'm not going to put the rest of the center marks in here right now. We'll go ahead to the section view. Now it says that this is going to be an aligned section. In reality, it's a full section with certain features, namely the slot, aligned. Okay, so how are we going to draw this? Well, let's first create the basic front view. So I'm going to draw a line from the quadrant here. I'm just going to come down. I think that's far enough. Come down, and I'll draw it over from here. And then the thickness is 8, so we'll go 8, and then we'll come across here, like so. And then I'll trim that off. All right. I want to make sure there was something wrong there. Let me make sure that's, yeah, okay. And now the total height of the object is 30, so I'll offset 30 from the bottom up here. Actually, wow, that's not as high as I thought it would be. So I'm going to move this whole thing up a bit, making sure not to shift it, right? I like to move it up because that way I get to magnify the view a little bit, and it helps with drawing. Now we'll create the tower, the center cylinder, by projecting down from the sides here and here. And we can trim that off there. Okay. Excuse me. And now for the ribs, right? So the ribs are drawn from the very top here down to the end right there. Okay. So that's going to be pretty simple. We're just drawing point to point where there's nothing to project from point to point. Okay. All right. And now we can deal with the center section. Now this is similar to what we talked about in the last drawing. All right. So the dimension for this hole in the center is diameter 12, then the counterbore symbol, diameter 30, and then the depth symbol 10. So what that means is we have a diameter 12 hole, which is right there. That's the small hole, hence the small number. And then we have a diameter 30 here that's counterbored down 10 millimeters. So I'm going to first offset 10 millimeters. Go down like that. And then I'm going to trim, I'm going to draw a line from here to here. And from here to here. That's the diameter 30 part. I can trim that out. So there's the counter bore. And now the diameter 12 hole will just project from the quadrant here. By the way, this is Object Snap Quadrant, which I have on, in case you did not know. Okay, so there we go. Now, of course, that's going to be visible, right, because it's a section view. And in fact, this line right there has got to be trimmed. So I'm going to trim this out from between here, right? So that's correct. And now, how do we do the slots? Now, this is important in the presentation for section videos, or excuse me, for section views. We talked about how features that are not in the plane of projection need to be rotated as if they were in the plane of projection. So basically, this slot, it really doesn't matter, this slot, we're going to draw it as if it's in this point of projection. So really what I want to do is I want to carry this point around there. Let me just show you, basically what I'm doing. All right, and this is just for illustration. This isn't actually what you're doing. I'll show you. What we're actually going to do is draw this as if it was right there. Okay? As if it was right there. Now, of course, we don't want to actually leave it there. So I'll show you a little trick here. Let's go back here. So I'm going to draw a circle here to the intersection right there. And you see where that traces up right there? Now I can project down like that. That's it. All right. So now I can get rid of these construction lines because we need part of that one. Hold on. Let me trim that. And now we can erase this. All right. So there we go. And we need the same thing on the other side. So I'm just going to use the mirror command, select this, and do the mirror from, I can choose the center here, down like that. And then there we go. And then that's our section view complete with the aligned slots, or the slots are aligned in this full section. All right. So let's go ahead and put the section lines in here. So we change to the section layer, and we go to hatching, and we come in here. Yikes, that's not the right hatch pattern. So I'm going to click in there, and I'm going to go up to ANSI 31 and make sure that that's correct. Actually, the angle is fine, and the scale is also good. So we're going to leave it just like that. I'm going to close that. All right. And now we can finish up this object. We want to put in the top view, we need to put in center marks. So let's change to the center layer, and let's see what our center mark looks like. If we pick the outer circle right there, okay, that doesn't look bad. Now we do need center marks here, okay? So let me caution you on this, because actually, if you use the center mark command, it's just going to come out all yucky, all right? And it's going to make a lot of extra work. Let me show you. I do the center mark, and you go, oh, okay, let's do that right there. Well, first of all, that needs to be rotated, okay? So that's wrong the way it is. It needs to be rotated in alignment with the slot. So that's fine. We can do that. We can go to rotate and select that feature right there, and we can choose the center, right? Making sure to get the center and rotate it 45 degrees. But then, see how we have that line that's kind of adjacent to or tangential to the curve? Well, the curve is what we really need. We do not need this line here, the line running tangent to it. But as you've seen with other examples, the center mark command is really persnickety about getting rid of portions of the center mark. So guess what, people? This is just not going to work. So I'm just going to erase that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw, let's make sure I'm still on the center line. I'm just going to draw a line from the center out to here. Okay, just like that. Now, I'm going to also extend. So let's see, how am I going to do this? I'm going to grab this, and I'm just going to tweak it out like this and see if I can project that across. Yeah, that's good right there. Okay. And now I do need to extend that slightly. So remember that for metric drawing, it has to extend 2 millimeters past the edge of the object. So 2 millimeters past the end here. Now, for those of you that are being you are completely correct in that me projecting straight across here is not necessarily how the curve is going to continue for that, which is going to be somewhere out here. But I think that that's going to be okay. All right, I think that that's going to be fine. We don't need to be that close in proximity with the circle. And in fact, some could argue that actually the slot stops straight across there. So in any way, I'm going to grab this grip and I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to type in 2. Okay, right there. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to pick, stretch it out, and type in 2. And then we do that. Now, don't worry about the dash not lining up there. That's really, that's like nearly impossible to fix like that. I mean, we'd have to really get in there and do some manipulation and stuff. And we're not going to worry about that. But I don't want you to have to do that 3 more times. So, hey, let's go to the array command. We'll choose polar array. We'll pick that. We'll pick the center point, which is right there. And we'll do 4. And everything else should be good from the last time. And we just say, okay. And then there it goes. Hey, well, what happened? Hold on. Let's undo that. It didn't update that. Let me try that again. There we go. I forgot to hit the enter key. So then we close the array. All right. So that's that for the top view. All right. And now for this one, let's put the center marks in there, annotate. I feel like most of the time we're talking about center marks in this class. It's so much work to do with the center marks. I really have to hand it to Autodesk for creating just a really terrible command. Now, the center mark down here is going to be a little bit tricky because we don't have an opposite line. So if we go like this and we go like this, guess what? That's not where the center of the cylindrical region is. The center for the cylindrical region is right there. See how this circle projects right there? So really, we just want to draw a line from here down to here. All right, we can get rid of that. Wrong one. Trim that off, and then we can use that little grip thing and go 2. And go 2. Okay. And then we can use the mirror command, mirror. Go like that. All right. So, my friends, that is the finished aligned section drawing of the flanged support. All right. So it's a full section view. Now remember, I said that the cutting plane line is not required by the national standards in full sections where there's only one section. So this follows that case, or this is the where we can apply that. Now you might be thinking, well, wait a second, what about the aligned section? Does that break it? No, because this is still technically a full section with aligned features. So if you want to put in a cutting plane line, you're welcome to. I'm going to do that right now just to show you how to do that. Again, to avoid double lines, I got to get rid of this. All right, and I'll replace it with a single vertical line there. So now I'm going to change. And, you know, I would say that it's good practice to do this. I don't think it's too much work, but it's good practice because, you know, creating the cutting plane line with the arrows and stuff is kind of, you know, a pain in the butt. So it's just good practice to do this. So I'm going to draw a line across from here to here. Okay. I'm going to offset. Now, remember we offset half an inch. So half an inch in millimeters is 12 millimeters. So we'll go 12. We'll offset 12 and we'll go out like that. All right, and we'll go out like that. And then we'll extend that there and there. And we'll erase our construction lines. And then we'll offset 12 to get the top of that. And then we'll go to annotate multiliter. And I'm going to draw the multiliter out here nice and long and hit escape a couple times. We got to explode it. Hopefully by now you've kind of, this is going to be in your muscle memory, so to speak. And then we can scale. We'll scale that. We'll scale it from the tip there 2 times. And then we will, let's get rid of this little bit right there. And then we'll move this from the tip here to the tip there. Right, and we can get rid of that. That looks hunky-dory. And we'll mirror this. Last time I copied it, so we'll mirror it this time. And we'll go from the center there, out like that. That looks good. And we'll finish this up with a center line from here to here, because we have to replace that. But we're not going to forget to extend this 2 and 2. All right, so that's good. And there you go. Now, you might be thinking, wait a second, does the cutting plane line kind of have to do one of these things where it, doesn't it have to do like this and come down here? You know, do something like that? No, doesn't have to do that. And in fact, I wouldn't say it would be wrong, but it's definitely unnecessary. It's bordering on wrong. Let's put it that way. I don't think there's a law or a rule in the standard that says that that's wrong, but it would be weird. Let's put it that way. And I definitely don't want you to do that. These align features, right, are understood to be rotated in the plane, and that's part of understanding how an orthographic drawing and section views are made. So that's part of what you're supposed to understand. This says we're going to get it set up for a A3 size layout, so we'll go in there, double click, do zoom extents, and let's see what scale. This is going to be 1:1. Oh, perfect, right? There we go, 1:1, and everything's good to go. All right, so that is the align sections problem, which is the flanged support. It's a metric drawing, all right, and I think that's it. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.